180 Literary Practice Test. Ready? Here we go. I stood frozen in place at Dollywood's Chasing Rainbows Museum in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, mere inches from an artifact I didn't know still existed, Dolly Parton's famed coat of many colors. Seeing it took me back to the Christmas when I was 10 years old and my sister gave me my first record, Best of Dolly Parton, a 1975 compilation of hits. I nearly wore the record out playing Coat of Many Colors. As I listened, I imagined what that coat must have looked like, raggedy pieces of fabric scraps sewn together. The little garment now housed in a glass case in front of me didn't match the image in my mind. It seemed pretty stylish with larger pieces of red and golden yellow fabric neatly sewn together and a button at the top. No wonder Dolly loved it enough to honor it in her music. That personal piece of her life was one of many I glimpsed out of my country music idol while on a mission last summer to eastern Tennessee, a culmination of my lifelong appreciation of all things Dolly. Raised in a country music loving family, I loved many of the singers of that era and genre, but it was Dolly's voice and folksy sense of humor that struck a chord with me. Her music seemed to come so easily to her, even plucking various stringed instruments with her long fingernails, so I learned some guitar chords and tried to be her, minus the sequins and platinum hair. Now I had the chance to see the real Dolly. My friend and willing accomplice, Allison Stanton, gleefully signed on to join the search. Our trip played a bit like a country song. Two city girls hit the highway to trace the roots of their music idol, who grew up and left her indelible stamp among these hills, where her song, My Tennessee Mountain Home, invokes a life as peaceful as a baby's sigh. But how does one go about finding Dolly? We headed to Dollywood. Since putting her stamp on Dollywood in 1986, Dolly's mission has been to share her Smoky Mountains home with people from all over the world, to showcase the area's crafts and cultural heritage, and to bring jobs to her old hometown. The park features thrill rides, but visitors will also find a chapel, a fried chicken restaurant, and a working grist mill. Allison and I beelined for the Chasing Rainbows Museum, where a Dolly hologram greeted us with the singer's bubbly spirit, our first sighting. The museum took us on a musical tour of Dolly's life, from her childhood growing up with 11 siblings in a one-room shack to her rhinestone rise to country music queen. While I stood looking at the coat of many colors, Allison went to the props and costumes from Dolly's role in the 1980 film 9 to 5. Viewing other exhibits felt like strolling along Dolly's closet, cases filled with her form-fitting jumpsuits and papers scribbled with handwritten lyrics from her song catalog. Gazing at the wall plastered with her album covers, I found myself back in my old room, sitting on the floor next to my record player and belting out Jolene duets with Dolly. Outside, we climbed aboard Dolly's former tour bus, which became an exhibit here in 2009. Her bedroom and closet are fixed in time, her guitar resting casually on the bed, and family photos placed throughout the room. In the tiny dressing room, I could see Dolly applying a fresh coat of bright red lipstick. We ducked into the park's Dream Song Theater, home of Dolly Parton's My People. Her people actually included her people, a sister and a brother and two nieces, among other live musicians who interacted seamlessly with a pre-recorded video of Dolly. It was as though we were sitting in her childhood home, listening to family stories of how Dolly would sing into a tin can microphone and bribe her siblings to sing along with her. Dolly's brother, Randy Parton, greeted showgoers afterward, shaking our hands as though we were old friends. As he put his arms around us for a photo, I realized I was just 1 degree of separation away from my idol. My head swam as Randy told us about his favorite places in the Great Smoky Mountains, but when I opened my mouth to reply, only gibberish came out, as though I were a teenager trying to casually chat with Justin Bieber. Allison rescued me, reminding me we had other Dolly sights to see. 7 miles north of Pigeon Forge, we found a quaint as a quilt Cyberville, Dolly's hometown, population 16,000. County historian Carol McMahon, who offers guided history and Dolly-themed tours, met us at Courthouse Donuts, housed in the town's former dry goods store. McMahon, who was a couple of years behind Dolly in school, told us that the Parton family had carved out a humble existence in the Appalachian foothills, so Saturday trips to town were a big deal, but even as a youngster, McMahon said, Dolly stood out. They were country people, he told us, but she always set her own style. As we strolled, McMahon pointed out key sites, including the former bus stop where the day after her high school graduation, Dolly boarded a bus bound for Nashville. She's most proud of her statue. All right, the word list. We have a short word list. Pigeon Forge, capital P-I-G-E-O-N. New word, capital F-O-R-G-E. Allison Stanton, capital A-L-Y-S-O-N. New word, capital S-T-A-N-T-O-N. Jolene, capital J-O-L-E-N-E. Dream Song, capital D-R-E-A-M, capital S-O-N-G. All one word, Dream Song. Sevierville, capital S-E-V-I-E-R-V-I-L-L-E. Carol McMahon, capital C-A-R-R-O-L-L. New word, capital M, small c, capital M-A-H-A-N. And that will conclude our RPR 180 literary practice test.